all. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Uh, Thanks for being here, Lisa, and everybody else who joins. And I saw what it was that happened last week when I did the stream thing where I thought I was streaming when I wasn't. It seems like they added another button you have to click to make the thing start streaming when you think it's streaming. And sorry I was late last week. So, but as promised, I'm slightly early this week. So, I didn't make up as much for it, but we'll keep it rolling. So and you was talking about tune the marathon. Yeah, that's a crazy long time, 50 hours. And I guess the last one spent okay, so one of his guests spent time in Antarctica. Yeah, of course the flat earthers say they all in on it. So it doesn't really matter. It's pretty crazy. Uh, uh at the end, because it was so much fun going through the comments on that debate that I had with Whitson, and unfortunately the comments done slowed down a bit. That was my happy divergence every once in a while to go check out all the derp that's there. But one of the funniest things I noticed was you see, you're like watching Nickelodeon. One of the funniest things I noticed was one guy had said, apparently, you know how they try to quote what you say, but they're just lying. And they said, "Oh, you look at the sky, and that proves gravity." So I told him pretty much why you have to lie to prove your point. Quote me where I said that. Are you ready to admit that you're just lying? And the funny thing is, he actually started saying, "Well, y'all side delayed our quotes, so y'all dishonest." So right, so he couldn't deny the fact that he was lying about what I said. So he went to try to argue that we're more dishonest. So funny. So yeah, I really don't see why they're doing it. You know, I I I I wouldn't send Witsit or anybody else out there to Antarctica. I was like, if I had the money to send somebody and I was going to send somebody, I'd send like a scientist or something. It's like how the people say they're going to send, maybe we should send the flat earthers into space. I'm like, no, send me. Scientists, send somebody who's actually been working towards science all this time instead of saying it's all a lie. Let them build their own rocket or something. Well, actually, we know what happens when they do that. That guy died building his own rocket, so maybe that's a bad idea to say. But you see what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't see the point of yeah. It seems like a waste of time to me. But that's just me. Like apparently people like just constantly throwing stuff at them so they could deny it again. That's all they do. But also, I said I was going to talk again this week about some more uh, in depth on stellar rotation. I don't know if you saw my presentation last week, but I had basically the version one or the rough draft of what you see here. So this is the final version I actually turned in for my project. Uh, uh, and Bandsaw Banner says Witsit runs rings around most. And uh, uh, what's the word? Augment. It's not the exact word I'm looking for. Augment that statement. What really happens is most people are not used to dealing with people as dishonest as him. Most people are used to talking to people, bandsaw, who, you ask them a question and they give you like they try to answer you, or when they ask you a question, they're not actually telling you a lie about your position, and then keep trying to get you to respond to a straw man. But it's just most people are not dealing with liars like that, right? But I've been around watching this flat Earth thing for a while, so I know how they are. So I was ready for the most part for his lies. He still got away with some stuff because he's just gonna just keep lying on top of lies, and people just believe whatever he says, no matter what you say. But that's what it is. He doesn't really have anything to run around anybody if he ever had an honest conversation and actually responded to the evidence and didn't ask fake questions. Uh, Lying is an accurate word. It's an accurate word. Um, an example is, I mean, all throughout the debate, right? he said that he has an aptitude at math, can't do basic math. At the same time, he's putting these equations up like he knows what he's talking about. You watched it, you saw me ask him to do a basic integral, he couldn't do it. But in that same debate, he pulled up paper that had all kind of complicated equations, that very complex integrals. He couldn't do a basic integral. He couldn't do a one variable integral. Clearly, he does not understand those equations, right? Uh, 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 there was a part of the debate where the whole time he's telling me that we're wrong and it's geocentric. So I asked him, okay, if it's geocentric, let us know when the next time Mars will be in coincidence, and show us how you do it with your model. He tried to change the subject. He just rambled for a second, then he started asking me questions. Then he tried to say this. He spent like 10 minutes avoiding the question. And then he pulled up a link that still didn't answer the question, but referred to something else that said the sun is 93 million miles away and stuff. That's dishonest. The honest thing would be to say, you know what, I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know what I'm talking about. That would have been honest. What he did was try to derail me, but again, the average person, since they're not used to dealing with these flat liars, they would have let him just derail them, and then you'd be off to the races answering a bunch of his false questions. So at least to say he got triggered hard when you started the math, exactly, because he knew he couldn't do it. And if you listen to the clip I played from Matters Now, finally, he admitted that he never did any higher level math. When he was in college, he said he just partied and stuff. And and uh MC Toon showed the clip where he actually uh got to school for football. But in that same talk on Matters Now, he said, "Oh, I had an aptitude for math. I had a full scholarship." So he's still lying, making it sound like he has a scholarship for academics. So he's a liar. And again, all you have to do is look at. I made a clear video where I show him saying, "If you change your story, you're a liar," and then I show him many times changing his story. According to his own words, he's a liar. So I mean, there's no getting around that. Either he's lying about saying if you change your story, you're a liar, or he's a liar because he's changing his story. There's no getting around that. So it's a strong word, but it's accurate. If it's accurate, then it's accurate. I actually challenged him again, by the way. He kind of was avoiding the first time, saying he didn't necessarily say he wasn't going to debate me, but he made it sound like he didn't have enough time. But I think my challenge is enough. I challenged him enough to where maybe he just couldn't deny anymore, and it looked like he was running. But I sent him a challenge again, specifically on gravity through MDD. So we'll see how it goes. I'm studying that now. I'm taking a classical dynamics class, and we have to do a lot of gravity stuff. So, that's pretty much what I usually debate about. Is something I'm studying right now. I don't necessarily have the time anymore, or even want to invest all the time to like just study all their videos and go through their arguments. I mean, the preparation that I did for the last two debates I did is not. I didn't have to do much because they don't really have anything to really. I mean, it's just so easy. So I'm studying gravity, so hopefully he accepts it. Lisa says he won't debate MC Tune. He runs every time, but then comes on the Discord and does his normal gaslighting, same word salad. Yeah, I do see him on, but the thing is, uh, he tried to do that too because I used to go to that Discord. I stopped going because they started being rude to me, which they usually do when I don't fall for their nonsense. They start being rude to me, and I just stopped going. But they was trying to get me to talk to him on Discord. And I told them then, I said, no, I'm happy to debate him. I want to, but it's going to be in public where everybody can see. They're not going to be on this little Discord channel where, it'll just, even though it still goes over most flat earth people's heads anyway. But I want it to be in public where everybody can see it so they can see what happened. So thankfully that was able to happen. But hopefully we can talk again and do some what do you call it? Gravity specifically. By the way, let me pop out the chat. I forgot to pop out the chat. And I can put the chat in the stream as well. Remember how to do that. Let's see here. And I believe this one. Yes. It would have been this one, I think. No, not that one either. Oh, there it is. So, I just have to remember to not cover the chat up when I cover the other stuff up when I add the chat up, but I remember to put the chat up every once in a while as well. But, I do find it fun. I mean, if I could, I probably would do that stuff more, but I don't really have time to do that stuff right now. I have a lot of real stuff to study, like stars and my we was talking in MC Tunes chat, Lisa, how I'm waiting for my exam scores. I'm thinking it might be bad because um the next class we had, that class is every Tuesday and Thursday. And the next class we had, she asked everybody how they think they did, and a lot of people thought they did bad. I was just upset about this one problem because I'm a LA in an EM class, like it's a lower level EM class, but it's still EM. And there's this one derivation that I knew how to do, but I just didn't study it in a long time because I was studying the stuff for this class more. I forgot that she actually mentioned this derivation early in the class, but I didn't study and I forgot to do it. And I was so upset. I forgot how to do it. I was so upset. I did not get that problem. Should have gotten that problem so easily. And I think she meant to give us an easy one, but it's just characteristic that sometimes they throw you a softball, but you're studying the hard stuff so much you miss it. So, Lisa says, I know you would hate to be gaslit, and people do it for absolute reason, for abusive reasons. It's the main tactic used by psychopaths. And I actually wonder about Whitson. I mean, sometimes he seems to really. It seems consistent with all the other ideologies. Like they have the gender ideology out now, and the critical race theory thing, and they seem to all do the same thing where they just speak a bunch of lies, but they seem to believe the lie, and they defend it viciously by just denying and avoiding, but they don't even seem to recognize they're denying and avoiding, and then they accuse you of denying and avoiding. It's amazing. So I mean, seems like part of him has to know it's a grift, but at the same time, it seems like he's zoned in sometimes as well. So I don't know. And Catherine says, Lisa says, it's part of my study on authoritarianism. Yes, I'm actually going to talk about that a little bit on my when because the election coming up. I don't know where everybody is at, but in United States, the election coming up. So I think my stream before election day, I'm gonna talk about the Declaration of Independence and so-called gun rights. Is this we have the ability to defend ourselves, and it's in the Constitution that the government can't restrict that right, which they can't restrict any right because it is inalienable. But a lot of things, core concepts that I think we as Americans are forgetting. So I think I'll talk about that some. Whenever I'll put the link up so y'all see what day it is. I don't even know what day it'll be myself, but whatever the day before election day is. And Lisa says bullies others because they're hurting themselves. Yeah, that does happen a lot. The circle of violence. The captain says, and you'll already know the worst of the worst control freaks and abusive liars are PDFs. I'm not sure what PDFs are. And Lisa says they are trying to protect their egos at all costs. Extremely defensive. Yes, that's definitely true, I would say, because he needs to be right. That's why even like I showed how little g is derived from gravity, the mass of the earth. I showed that. And still he was focusing on the little mass and saying you cancel the mass. But that was one of the things I think I didn't respond to as well as I could because I'm just not used to I'm used to dealing with people that want to learn. Like I help people in classrooms and stuff, and you show them stuff and they want to learn. As ironic, in one of his things I got clips from, he talks about how the other side offers no help. And that's how he is. You try to tell him stuff and he's no help. He just wants to not accept it at all. Because like you said, Lisa, he wants to protect his ego and maintain the idea that they're at the top. But as I get higher in physics and astronomy, I can see the appeal of it because this stuff is hard. It's hard learning, you know, cosmology and astrophysics and all this math and equations is hard. So it's very convenient to be able to just declare yourself as being right, right? He's just declaring that he's right about the solar system, even though he can't predict a single thing, right? And I played that clip where he mentioned how the astronomers was off by a fraction of a percent. So that means they're wrong about everything. But he is wrong about everything. He can't predict anything. But still, he has to sort of push it in his head, so he's still at the top. So what they can do is they can make themselves believe they're the top and the most knowledgeable without doing the work because it's hard work. So I can see the appeal of it. It's hard work to actually be good at this stuff, but they could just protect their ego and just be good at it all of a sudden just because they say they're good at it. No results, nothing to show for it, no technology, no models, no predictions, no equations. They just declare they're right, and it feels good. Well, Ben. So, I have a really, I don't think I would. I go back and forth on whether I'm going to vote. I'm pretty sure I will, but I don't think I'll vote for either of them. I want to find somebody who's more fully aligned with freedom, like with removing gun laws and restrictions, with not allowing this uh, infringement on free speech on college campuses, where some campuses you know, professors making them do all the gender stuff and critical race theory stuff where they fail them. I experienced that a little bit in one of the humanities classes I took, but some schools it's encroaching in physics. So what I think I'll do is like week or two before election, I'll just see okay which candidate is not pushing for gun laws, which candidate is for freedom of speech and so on and so forth, and I'll just vote for that person. Or maybe even just put my own name on the ballot if I literally can't find anybody. But I don't think I'll vote for either Trump or what's her name? Kamala? Is it Kamala Harris? I don't even know. But that all seems to be just a pantomime. It's just the same old. And Lisa says democracies can and do die. Ours is not immune from that. Yeah, I agree. An argument can be made that it has died already, just in name to a certain extent, but so many things that we have here is not clearly not meant in the original intention of what was written. That's why I'm going to discuss that on that week before election. Like it talks about inalienable rights, not the government to declare you can't do stuff. So it doesn't matter what the government say. Our rights are inalienable. So when we start to believe that they're actually given by the government because of some constitutional amendment or something, then it's going in the way of all the things we say we don't want, like like Hitler and Mao and all them things. There's these regimes. So you know. Oh, and I missed one of your comments, man. So you're asking me why not just address. Well, I'm scrolling up to see if I missed anything. Are you saying Bandsaw? Why not just address the points that Bandsaw that Witsit raised? Are you suggesting that I didn't address some of the points he raised in one of your earlier comments? I know there was a little lag. I'll let him respond to that. But I'll go into the more details of this here while I'm waiting for that. Oh, it's not showing properly. Oh, it's because I changed the size of it. Oh, that's what it is. So I have to remember that when I adjust the size of this thing, it changes how it looks on the screen. So I'm still getting used to these what do we call them? But so one of the things I'm looking into is rotation of stars, and I'm starting to zone in and focus on rotation of stars in in clusters of stars. And I'll zoom in on this when I see your reply, Van, so I'll respond if you ever reply to what I was saying. Let me bring up my trusty zoom thing, right? So I'll zoom in on this part here. Oh, let me see what he says. Bandsaw says, I think there was at least one from the debate I saw between you two. I would have to go back and check, but to be honest, there was one from you too. I would suggest looking at it again, Bandit. Unless you could point it out directly to me, there's not one question he asked me honestly that I did not address. What I did not do is let him tell me, your model says this, now answer this question. And I would tell him, I'm not going to let you tell me what my model is. I've already shown you don't have any clue. I've already shown you have a whole argument with no evidence, no references. I've already shown you don't know basic integration. Right? I've already shown, according to your own lies, you are a shucker and a driver. So I'm not going to believe you when you tell me, oh, your model says this. So you've been fooled, Bandit. If you fall for that, you're falling for his. I don't know if he's consciously trying to trick. Oh yeah, several he didn't answer because that's their game. Like when I asked him, okay, so since you're saying that the Earth is a geocentric and all of this stuff is wrong, then let us know when Mars is next in conjunction and show us how you know that with your model. He immediately tried to deflect. He immediately tried to ramble something and start asking me questions. That's what they do. They try to jump to asking you questions and putting you on the defensive and run away from the fact that they don't know what they're talking about. And they try to hide that. I didn't let him get away with that. I went back to asking him again. He tried to deflect again. And then he put up a link that still didn't answer the question. He just kept trying to avoid and deflect. And so, yeah, he did that. But any question he asked honestly, matter of fact, he even asked one question. I guess he mistakenly asked it honestly. He asked me basically what I was saying about, how the observations of these motions demonstrate that Earth is a heliocentric system. And I started answering the question, and he cut me off and then changed the question. Look at the earlier part, and I called him out on that. I started answering the question, but I guess he realized he asked a question I can actually answer. And he cut me off and then
Hello?
asked a slightly different question that input something false in the question. Listen to it. And I called him out on that. I said, you changed the question. He said, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Hello,
His voice,
hello
you know he's
there.
changed the question. So he rarely even asked the honest question. When he did, it was my mistake or a gotcha. Like when he asked me name one thing that
Hello?
I said a lot of inventions we have were from the space industry, and he said name one, and I named one. I said diapers, because like the Velcro comes from
Hello?
space, and the
Hello?
way they made the plastic diapers and stuff. Oh, so I went into Discord. Let me
Hello?
see. Oh, so I see that's
I did do a
Brandon.
stream with
I'm on the
you.
stream right now, Brandon. So you want to talk about the stream I'm in now, or you want to talk about joining your
What's the stream
stream?
about?
What's that?
The stream, when you want to return to my channel for a
Hold up. I think
stream?
I have to turn my volume up on you. Hold up here. What did you say?
When do you want to come back to my channel? When do you want to
Uh,
come back
uh,
to my channel for a stream?
I'll let you know. Yeah, well, somebody had joined. I'm on Discord, by the way, if anybody wants to join. I thought that was somebody joining to discuss Discord. But I was saying, forget. So I was thinking I was on the part where he had changed the questions. Oh yeah, I was saying he asked me about an invention. I said diapers, and he was butthurt on that. Oh, it was just he was like upset that I actually answered the question because their goal is not to ask an honest question. Their goal is to try to find a question you can't answer. So either they ask a dishonest question where they tell you this is your model, but what they're telling you is not your model, and they try to get you to answer was not your model, or they think they have a gotcha question that you can't answer. So it's all deception on their part. With several, he didn't answer. And Elisa says they do feel, but they only care about their own feelings and protecting themselves. They don't have empathy for others. Their pathology always leads to death and destruction. I see that. Yeah, that was this guy whose stream I joined not too long ago, and he was seeing if when I'll come back on his stream, he watches like cartoons. Uh, but yeah, awesome. Seems like we have a good topic going with the. I guess we ended up talking about the derp, the way the dirt works. Uh, I know this is good. I mean, we could just talk about this if it's more interesting. So the idea is to talk about what's interesting. So I don't mind just talking about this as well. I mean, that's fine too. Uh, but yeah, one thing I noticed though, I guess I go in with the understanding that of course they don't have anything to offer, and thanks. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying, Lisa. I still have time to go into the topic as well if you'd like to hear about it. The Catherine says, I don't condone sacrificing thousands and millions for them to have a life. I'm wondering if you do because it sounds like rape apologetics. I guess I missed some part of the conversation that was going on. Uh, what's going on, Bandsaw? We got Bandsaw joined up.
Yo, yo, Daryl.
How
How
you been,
you
man?
going?
Doing good.
Yeah,
I'll
not
see
too
if I can
bad.
put the Discord on show here. Let's see here. Oh, that's because I forgot I have the share going. Let me stop the share, and then we'll be able to see the Discord going. So do I stop the share? No, I forgot. I'm sharing something else. I'm sharing the what we call them, window capture. Boom. And Discord. I'll put this up, and let me take the filters off. Awesome. There we go. Now I think people should be able to see that. So how's it been going, man? How you been?
Yeah, not too bad. I've been going pretty good. What about yourself?
Doing good. Real busy. I went back to school. Seems like it's been years since we talked. I guess it's literally been years. Since then, I've gone back to
It has
school. I'm
been.
at UT Austin. Yeah,
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time. So it's been fun. I
Cool.
plan on going to graduate school next year. So I'm preparing for that, starting to apply and all that good stuff. I work at the
Oh,
university.
yeah.
I
So
work
you're
as a
racking up
learning
a bit.
assistant. Go ahead.
So you're racking up a bit of debt, are you?
That is true. I am racking up a bit of debt. That is true.
Yeah.
That's part of the game.
It's the same everywhere. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I've got my boys go to uni as well, and it cost a fortune to send them there. So, but anyway, it is what it is.
You're in
Um,
Australia, right?
let's build a few. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. And we used to have a free uni, but that was disbanded years ago.
Ah,
I'm a big advocate for university being free. Build a few more missiles, I reckon, and not have free university. That's what they should be doing.
okay.
Yeah, eh?
And I was just about to ask you about that, by the way. I thought it was free there, just like in England. I don't think it's totally free in
No,
England, but I think it's very, very, very cheap. But it was free in
no.
Australia
We
at one
have
point.
we have public primary schools and secondary schools, as well as private. Um, but when you go to university, no, that's when you incur debt, and you can either pay it up front or you
Okay.
can incur a HEX debt, which is just a government debt that you don't have to pay back straight away. But then when you start working, I think when you hit a certain threshold, you automatically have to start repaying back your university fees.
So that's
That's
pretty
how it
much how it
works
is
here.
here.
So so you can go to uni and not have to worry about the financial burden of it, but you still do have to worry about the financial burden in the future
That's
because
right.
the debt you incur, Darryl, it might be 30, 40, $50,000, maybe more
That's right.
sometimes. Um, but you got interest on that.
That's right.
It's not just $50,000 forever. It ends up being $150,000. And that's a huge burden for young people to take into their future.
Yeah, I can see it. Um, People make a lot of comparisons. Like not comparisons, but highlights of people that get these uh nothing degrees, like I don't know, gender studies and stuff, and apparently unable to find a job in that because what do you do as a gender studies? Um, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I do like
yeah. Well,
Jordan
they're
Peterson. He talks about how they lowered the value of it by like one of my classes, and granted is an intro chemistry class, and like so many majors take chemistry, but that class had between 200 and 300 people in it. Uh,
yeah.
so so that's a whole lot of money in one class, right, for one professor. They don't charge less
Oh,
for the class
exactly.
because there's more people.
Exactly.
Uh,
I was
so
I was gobsmacked, Daryl, at when my son went to one of his first lectures. Anyway, he comes home and I asked Mike, how was it, mate? And he said, Dad, it's like a huge big auditorium, and there would have been 250 people in the auditorium. And I go, what's that like? And he says, it's very sterile. He said, there's nothing
very
personable at all about being
okay.
in the classes in the lectures. Um, and yeah, he said it's a very different learning experience being at uni. Um, they kind of point you in the right direction, and it's all on you pretty much. But it's a completely different learning system when you get to
School does he
uni
go to?
compared to high school. Sorry,
What school does he go to? What university?
Melbourne
Okay.
University.
I can say, by the way, even though there's a lot of people in the class, which again I can understand to a certain extent because so many people take that major, but at the same time, it's definitely like a money saver for the school because they could just hire more professors. But I can say that that was
Mm,
actually probably still the most fun class I had. So it was actually very personable. So even though we had one professor,
yeah,
they had a lot of what's called learning assistants, which is what I am now, as a matter of fact. But I'm a learning assistant in the physics department. But what a learning assistant
yeah.
basically is a student like you, but they took the class already and they did well in the class, and they're in the class helping out. So we had like about 10 of those in the class. And then the way it was structured, even though it's not structured like that anymore because the professors decided to do that themselves, like four chemistry professors all worked together and they made their lessons align and everything like that. And all of the office hours were like joint office hours. So we had office hours
Mm,
with we can go to any professor, any of them in the group, and we can go to like teaching assistant office hours. It was like a big community. It was just so fun. So I could definitely say that even though it was 200-300 people in the class, I always felt like I
yeah,
got personal attention because either one of the LAs was there helping me, or I was able to go to one of the office hours. Usually I went to a different professor because they would work on my schedule, and I still talk to that professor today. As a matter of fact, he knows me by name. They all know me by name, as a matter of fact. But I usually get that when I'm in a
yeah,
class.
yeah,
But uh, uh, but
yeah.
I still see him and talk to him.
Yeah. Mikey has what they call peer advocates in the class where you can go and ask, for assistance and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And it has changed. Like this is his uh, his second year now, so he's kind of uh, found his stride, so to speak. So and he's with them. Um, so, but I think when he first went there, it was very uh, foreign and daunting, I suppose.
Okay.
But
Yeah. I
yeah,
think that's the
it's
same
fallen into it
for
now.
like you said, it is a new environment. Even though it might have been structured more friendly in that particular class, it is still uh, certainly a different thing. And I don't know how it is at Melbourne, but I know at my school the pace is crazy. Like it goes crazy fast. The pace of everything, so it's definitely challenging. And what in the world they have some I don't know what they're talking about. They have something crazy going on. Hold on, let's see what's going on. I mean, I missed like a whole conversation. Hold up. It says hold up.
Mm.
Francis can do. Hold up. Let me put the chat up. People can see what I'm talking about. instruction.
So
So
when's your next debate you're going to be doing?
I challenged Richard again. I don't know if he's going to accept, but I sent the email to Modern Day Debate and said I want to debate Richard on gravity. So I mean, if he accepts 2 weeks, I'll do it in 2 weeks because I'm studying that now, so it doesn't really matter when. But I would like to do it now while I'm studying in the class, while I go study something else. I'm not really anxious to do it though. I mean, the fact is, I kind of just want to talk to the big people anyway, because it's more worth my time to make the show how the bigger people don't know what they're talking about. Like Witsit, apparently everybody look up to him. And he's like one of the top flat earthers now. So I enjoyed. So I probably only want to do it again if it's somebody like him or somebody else that has a big following. So then it's like feels more worth my time, because especially since he talks about things. Because some of them, like for instance, what is his name? Iron Horse. It's just like some of these
Iron,
guys. I
Iron
mean,
Horse?
yeah, Iron Horse, I believe his
Ross.
name is. They,
Yeah,
I mean, they
Ross.
just, yeah. I mean, he just seems dumb. I mean, it just seems like there's no point in talking to him. Um, you
Oh,
know,
that's a bit harsh, calling someone dumb.
I
He's
mean,
far from dumb,
hey,
Ross.
I mean, hey, I mean, some people are dumb. I mean, dumb just means not quick
No.
of mind. Not. I mean, it's an unfortunate fact. It's a fact we may not like, but it's a fact. There's some people who are geniuses, and we can acknowledge that. That Newton was a genius, and Einstein was a genius. They discovered these great things, and I haven't really looked into Stephen Hawking, but apparently Stephen Hawking did some great things. And I mean, we have people that do make some great discoveries, and their minds are very sharp. They understand things to a greater level. The fact is, we also have people in the
So,
world who don't understand things to the basic level.
so what's your definition of smart then? Einstein. Is that your definition of smart, Einstein?
Einstein, in my definition, would be more than smart. Uh, I would consider myself smart, but I'm really average. But I'm smart in the sense that I
Right.
can hear an argument and understand it and respond logically. I could, I heard Ross one time. I'm pretty sure it was him, but it was actually a group of people talking. Like it was one of those debates where it was like a 3-on-3 or a 2-on-2 or something. Because I can't say specifically it was him that said it, but definitely the whole side agreed with it. One of the things
Well,
they said was, hold up, they said math is fake because if I have a pound of sand here and I have a pile of sand here, and I put them up together, it still makes one pile of sand. So 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2 because 2 piles of sand is still a pile of sand. If that's
so
really your understanding, go
is
ahead.
your idea of smart who can recite uh, the educational points the best is the smartest,
No,
and who agrees with the main point scientific facts and can recite those the best and understand those the best. They're the smart ones in this world. Is that kind of what you're saying?
let me ask you, what did you gather or understand of when I describe what smart is? Like, what did you gather or understand from my explanation or description?
Well, see, to call someone dumb.
Well, hold on,
Uh,
wait, before we move over,
well,
I'm
I
asking,
just
like,
want to
what did,
know.
hold on, wait, one at a time, one at a time. I would like to know, because I had said, this is smart, and I gave a description. What did you gather from
Yeah,
what I said it was?
that your definition of smart is someone with book smarts. That's your basic definition of smart. Someone with book smarts.
Okay. It could have been that you didn't hear it. Well, then let me say it again, and you can let me know if you heard me say
Yeah,
this. I
because
said,
your mic is a bit crackly from my end, anyway. But
okay,
anyway,
maybe I need to turn the edge down a bit. Let me see if this helps. Thanks for letting me know that. How is it now?
yeah.
Thanks for letting me know. Yes.
Go again.
So
No,
what I said
still
was,
crackling. It's still
oh,
crackling.
Well, I may not be able to. How do y'all let me know on the stream if I'm crackling to y'all? We could try to figure out if it's the mic or the Discord, or as long as you can understand me generally. But if y'all on the stream who are
I can
watching, let me know if
generally
I sound
understand you.
crackly.
Yeah, go,
But I'll
go, go,
try
go.
to speak more
Go.
clearly. This is what I said. And you can click back on the stream and you can see I said that. I said smart. I said I would consider myself smart. I said I would consider somebody like Einstein like more than smart. I said I would consider myself smart, but I'm really just average. And I said somebody smart could at least hear a question or an argument and respond cogently, respond coherently, right? So what that doesn't say anything about memorizing a bunch of stuff. That didn't say anything about, oh, you believe what they say in mainstream science. I said somebody who can hear something, hear an argument, hear a question, and respond to it cogently, respond to it logically. I've observed Iron Horse, and he's seen either it could be some kind of unwillingness, perhaps, but it comes across as dumb the way he responds to things sometimes. Like he can't respond to simple questions or comments in a cogent way. And again, that's nothing to do with just memorizing stuff. Like if I tell you, for instance, I don't know, I won't be able to remember a specific thing that went over now. Um, but it's kind of like I guess this is similar. It's kind of like I gave that presentation in my debate. And I said, look, I said, you know, I did spectra of the sun, took pictures of the sun. We see it as a physical object. We see that mass attracts mass. Here's some examples I gave. I showed stars going around the black hole. I showed how we predicted the position of a new planet that we found because of the rotations with our gravity calculations. So I said all of this stuff, we know that gravity is real. Therefore, since the mass of the sun is so much greater than the Earth, and I showed how we can calculate that. I showed the angular size and we could see the distance from radar. I showed all that. So we know that the sun is a massive object, it's large. We know it's physical. Because it's so big and so physical, and we know gravity is real, the Earth has to be going around the sun. Therefore, the solar system is heliocentric. A flat earther responded and just said, "Oh, he said you could look at the sky and that proves gravity." That's dumb. If that's really your thinking, that's idiotic. That's not smart. That's not being able to hear something that's presented and respond in a cogent way. And then that's nothing to do with memorizing a bunch of things. But if I list all of that and all you get out of that, oh, you believe looking at the sky means the gravity is real, or you think looking at the sky means the earth is a globe. That's dumb. That's idiotic. And I know it's not people may not like to hear that, but again, just like there's people who are above intelligence, there are people who are below intelligence. I mean, there's literally IQ tests that show that there's people above and below a certain average intelligence. So it's just the fact, man. It's just the way the world is.
I don't know. I think pointing at the stars or the sun and what you call planets and working out their trajectories and all that sort of stuff. To me, that doesn't prove gravity at all.
This is interesting, man. So let me hear where you're coming from because I heard you say something to the effect that what you call planets, like you don't think the objects we see out there are really planets like we say they're planets?
I see definite objects over my head, 100%. Now we generally call them planets, stars, sun, and moon. That's what we commonly call them, and I'm happy to call them that. I've got no dramas in calling them that. Now, they're then taking it the next step and saying that this planet is X, Y, and Z. Well, that's where I would have a little bit of conjecture.
Let me be clear. Like, is it your position that the Earth is like? Are you a flat earther? Like, you believe like the Earth is flat and those are just lights in the sky? Like, is that your position now?
Well, I believe that water at rest will always be at its lowest point and flat and level. Definitely.
So you think so? Your position is that the Earth is flat. It's not a globe.
I don't think it's a globe. No,
Okay, interesting. So is this a change? Because I could swear when we were talking before, you were of the position that the
no,
Earth was a globe. You were always a flat earther?
no. Yeah,
Okay, I didn't
you
know
should
that.
go back and listen.
Okay, I guess we only really talked on my stream. Usually we were either talking about I guess
Oh,
something
we
different
talked about
or
a lot about your Yeah, we talked about everything else, but
okay. Oh well, still well, interesting, man. So perhaps that's something we could talk about then. So, have you looked into like I heard you say that the buck stops where we say like your position is not that these what we call planets or what we say they are. So have you done like you mentioned like memorizing book stuff like that? Have you ever looked into like astronomy books to see how we know planets, or have you tried to get a telescope and see like have you done anything to try to understand how we come to the conclusion that they're planets, or try to conclude it yourself?
yeah, my son's actually got a Celestian telescope. Um, so we have actually looked at uh, all the objects in the sky. Sure, well,
Okay.
not all of them, but you know what I mean. Had a
Okay.
good
So
old, had a good old squiz.
what did you see most clearly that you can talk about? Like which planet did you see most clearly?
Uh, I think what's the first one that comes up at night?
You mean
Bright one.
oh,
Wow.
you mean
Sorry,
Venus? Venus?
is it Venus? Is that the brightest one in the sky?
Oh, yeah, I think that would be considered the brightest one. I think they call it the morning star for
Yeah,
that reason.
yeah, yeah.
So basically, going from the sun, there's Mercury. I guess you're not talking about that one. There's Venus closer to the
No,
sun,
no,
and then
no,
there's
no, no,
Mars
no,
on the
no,
other
no.
side. So it seems like you mean either Venus or Mars.
The yellowy one, when you look at it, it's a yellowy color.
Jupiter, you mean? Like
It's got a
has like
slight,
rings around it?
it's got a slight yellow tinge to it.
Okay, yeah, that must be
Anyway,
Jupiter. That must be
um,
Jupiter.
the telescope that we had, the planet that we looked at. Now, I'm hoping it was a planet.
Okay.
Didn't look much different to the stars itself. It just had a slightly different hue to it.
So you're saying you're not sure you were looking at a planet, or you sure you were looking at a planet, but it looked like a star?
Oh, we looked at lots of different things in the sky, and we have many a times, Daryl. And anything that we look at is it's either brighter or duller or a slightly different hue.
I see. So in other words, from what I'm gathering is from your personal experience looking at this stuff in the sky with a telescope, you've determined from what you see that they're not the things that like NASA says they are.
I tell you what, the most interesting thing to look at is the moon. That's the most interesting.
But I mean, just to be clear though, that I'm understanding where you're coming from, is it your position that when you personally looked at what we call planets, from your personal experience, they do not match what like NASA says they should be or should look like? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think they're rocks in the sky.
Okay. Well, good for you,
Yeah.
man. Well, it's good that you pulled out your telescope and looked. So that's what
Yep.
conclusion you get. So congratulations. At least you look for yourself.
Yes, most definitely. But I don't think you can look. I don't think you can look at these objects in the sky and follow their path, work out the trajectories, and put mathematical equations to them, and that proves gravity. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing. It's interesting. Uh,
Yeah.
interesting perspective. Um, have you ever
It might be. Go on. Sorry.
have you ever like looked at those equations and like I hear you saying you don't think it can be done. Have you ever looked at the equations and was able to show that they don't work? Like, have you ever looked at the equations, looked at the predictions, and seen how they work and saw anything wrong with them or anything?
Oh, no, and for me to work out if there was something wrong with them, Daryl, I would have to spend many a year in school understanding the equations and knowing how to use them. I'm nowhere near at that level to be able to work out what would be wrong with the equations, if there was anything wrong with the equations. And I'm sure the equations match up. I'm not arguing the equations. I'm just saying that on its own is not evidence for gravity. It might be a supporting side note to some other evidence, hard evidence that you may have. But it's on its own. It's far from any evidence of gravity.
Hey, man, that's some interesting stuff. Wanted to tell me about what is your understanding of how the world is. Like, I understand you said that water finds its level and water is flat, so the Earth is flat. Like is it
Yep.
like how big is it, for instance? Like how big is the flat Earth plane?
Well, I only know the area that I live in, Daryl. Like you, I know my surrounding community, um, as well as other countries I've been to overseas, as well as family and friends that have been to other countries. So I know where I am and of these other countries.
Hey, man, interesting stuff.
Now, the exact size, I've got no idea. I haven't been to the end.
Hey, man, awesome. So, my debate with Witsit, you think that Witsit won that debate?
Do I think he won the debate?
Oh, yes.
Um, I think he came out on top. Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I think he came out on top. But on the whole, I thought it was a pretty. It was a decent debate to listen to. Didn't mind it.
Would you let me know the main uh, points or aspects or talking points or what have you that let you know he came out on top?
Well, I'll have to do some homework and get back to you on that.
Okay.
On that one.
I mean, you sure not just one thing comes to mind that you can remember that let you say, oh yeah, Wittek got that.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, it has been a
Not
while.
off the
It's been
top of
like
my
a
head.
few months, I guess,
Yeah.
since the debate
Yeah.
went out. Awesome, man.
But yeah.
Well, why don't I
Anyways,
'cause I was going to talk about uh this presentation here. Maybe I don't know if the talk, I'm still not sure exactly what Lisa and Catherine are talking about. Apparently they're having a very in-depth talk about something that I missed somewhere in there. Well, why don't I do this, Ben? So let me tell you about my rotation thing, and you can ask me questions about it, and that'll give me practice for my research as well. And I don't mind if you challenge me from a flatter perspective, like how we know this or whatever. Let me see if I can share this in
yep.
Discord easily. I think I
All
could
right then.
share this in Discord. One moment here.
Yeah. Well, I've only
So,
got about 5 minutes, so Daryl, 5 or 6 minutes. So
okay, well, it's not gonna take more than 5 minutes. So, well, maybe next time if you want to hear about it.
yeah.
Maybe I'll go ahead and
All right
close up
then.
in a
All right
bit.
then. Man.
It was good
Yeah,
chatting.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
good chatting with you
Uh,
again, man. So I
well,
plan to be here every Saturday. So at
all
this
right then.
time, so I start at right now is almost 9 o'clock my time. So I generally go from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. my time. So at the top of the
Yeah,
hour that's coming up, like an hour before that. So if you ever want to come on, let me know. And
too easy.
uh
And
yeah, just
we'll
talk like
we'll talk about gravity. We'll talk about gravity next time.
that sounds good. Yeah, we can talk about gravity next time. So I'll put it on the when you say next time, you mean Saturday of next week?
Maybe. I'll let you know. But yeah, I'll talk about gravity with you.
Okay, awesome.
No,
Well, let me
no
know,
problems.
and we'll talk. Just let me know when, and I'll put it on the schedule. So I'll put the little. Maybe I'll just
And
schedule it for next week so something is there, and just let me know and I can move
all
it to
right
a
then.
different week.
All right,
So
Daryl.
good, man.
Too easy,
Good
man.
checking up. Have a good
Okay.
night.
Okay. Yeah, you too, man. Bye.
Man, there's a y'all having a deep convo. I have to go back. I tried to go catch the lead of it. Uh, I'll go out at it. Hold up. To listen to the debate you're moderating in chat, you misrepresent the position that is lying. That's what flirts do. That is what flirts do. I haven't seen what happened though. I don't know what's going on with that. Uh-oh. So don't try to get into it. It's not physics based. It's not worth it. They did miss it. I mean, it seems like maybe it was a conversation you had going on already. So, but it's good to have a nice animated discussion. I think, even though it might be a little bit back and forth. Uh, it's I don't know what the word is, but I don't know. I guess something like physical exercise, right? Like you get your heart rate up and physically and exercise, and it makes you healthier. I think it maybe it's good to have a little emotional excitement once in a while. So y'all will still be friends afterwards. But often y'all, it's about the top of the hour. So we had an interesting talk today. I guess we just talked about first dirt in general. Bandsaw came on. We talked a little bit. I didn't even realize Bandsaw was a flat earther, so that was interesting. So he believes that Witsit got me in the debate, and apparently it's offensive to him that I call some of the flat earthers dumb, but it seems like just a basic observation. I'll stick to it. And again, it could be just some kind of denial or something where they seem dumb. I mean, but it definitely seems dumb on his face. Some of the reactions they have. So either they're dumb or they have some kind of mental blockage or denial that's going on or whatever. But it seems like they respond in very dumb ways. Uh, but we'll see. He said he'll talk to me about gravity one time, so we'll do that if he wants to. So that sounds good. So why don't y'all let me know, by the way, do y'all have a topic? I know Bandsaw said he wouldn't mind talking with me about gravity. Captain Lisa, before I close up in a few minutes, do y'all have a topic y'all would like for next week or the week after? Like I'll pop in Bandsaw whenever he's free, but the next Saturday or the Saturday after that, whatever. If y'all have a topic, y'all can let me know now. Oh, gravity is always interesting. Oh, so awesome. So I'll talk about some gravity next week then. So perhaps uh, uh, whether Bandsaw shows up or not, we'll talk about some gravity next week, and I guess maybe the week after. And I was kind of almost not wanting to talk about gravity now, just like how before I had the debate with Witsit, I didn't talk about a lot of the things that I was talking about in the debate because I know they just work out some lies for it. But working on some gravity anyway, so I'll go ahead and talk about it. Practice says she's not letting up. So I'll talk about some gravity next week. So good seeing y'all. I'll let the music play for a while so that the chat will be going for a little while so y'all could go back and forth a bit more. And y'all could go back in the comments of the video as well. So keep that in mind as well. The stream ends if y'all were to go back and forth, hop in the comments. Seems like an interesting discussion. And next week I'll be ready to talk about some gravity, either with Bandsaw or on my own. And then I guess 1 or 2 weeks, 1 week I'll talk with Bandsaw, then 1 week I'll just talk about gravity, or vice versa. So we'll do that for the next 2 weeks. It'll probably be some gravity talk. And then remember, whatever the week is before election day, I'll talk about, like, I'll break out the Declaration of Independence and talk about liberty and freedom and touch upon some core ideas and concepts that, at least if we're going to still call this America, we're going to have to keep in mind if we really want to still believe in liberty and freedom and so on and so forth. So look forward to that, and I'll put that on the schedule. All right, y'all, have a good night.